What's going on, everyone? We're back. Ben is back doing a little mock draft on the Super Bowl Sunday. Ben, great to see you again, man.
Great seeing you, Ian. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to you and everyone in the comments. Go congratulate Ian. He had a great senior night last night in his basketball game. He's been playing amazing lately. So,
Yes, sir.
just congratulations, Ian. Absolutely
Appreciate that.
amazing.
Yes, sir. I need to put the dunk right after this clip, but
Yes, you have
um,
to.
before we start the mock draft, any Super Bowl commercials you're looking forward to? You think that could happen?
Really good question. I'm very intrigued to see if we really do get the Ben Affleck Part Two Dunkin' Donut commercial. Dunkin'
Oh yeah, right.
Donuts like
Yeah.
sales went through the roof afterwards. I remember my family and I at some fair, we got like a free Dunkin' Donut coffee like a couple of weeks after last year.
How sick.
Um,
Yeah.
so of course we'll be seeing the Post Malone Hard Rock Live bet ad probably for the
Oh my
80th
gosh.
time.
Over under
And then
three and a
I
half.
think there'll be some funny ones with probably singers or actors as well. How
Right.
about
Yeah.
yourself?
I think the How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, I think they
Ooh,
may have another trailer to put out for that. So I'm kind of excited to see that because I think that comes out in the summer. So I'm
we're
looking forward
excited.
to that, as well as the Superman, the new Superman movie.
Oh, that'll be good
I'm looking
too.
forward to that because looks like they're
Superman.
gonna
Oh, yeah.
change
Me
it
and you, since we were kids, love Superman and Batman.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all those shows. And
Uh,
then you got
so-
the cool magic background, and
oh
then
yeah,
I have
100%. Yeah.
it's a little misleading, even though it has divisions. I put the draft order. It's kind of hard to see, so I'll bring it down for
Oh,
this right
true,
now.
true.
So Tennessee down, and
Oh,
like it
perfect.
goes from
Yeah,
this to
that works.
that. So that's just what I try to do.
Cool.
Um, yeah.
That sounds
So
good.
that's okay. And then question I have for you for draft related is what's the biggest thing you're interested to see happen for the draft?
I'm extremely curious to see what the Titans do. I think that's obviously kind of cliche with the number one overall pick, but their GM said they're not going to pass up on a generational talent, and I wouldn't I wouldn't call anyone truly generational in this draft. Travis Hunter is probably the most unique player we've ever seen because he plays so well on both sides of the ball. Abdul Carter's another one who can really wreck the game from the edge rusher position. So I'm curious to see what they do. I could see them trading out. I could also see them just staying put, taking a swing on one of the quarterbacks, which I'd lean towards no, but honestly, it's up to the coach. And if anything, I think Shadur could fit better in terms of what they're trying to do there. But we'll see what happens. Honestly,
I like
it's gonna be
that. I
fun.
like
There's
that.
gonna be a whole lot of speculation coming up, but obviously, until that first name is called, we don't know. So
I like that. That's a really good point you made. That's really good.
yeah, I'm gonna share my screen here. Get the
Perfect. Here we
draft
go, everyone. We're
thing
starting up
going
the
up.
mock draft now. And I get the odd picks, Ian gets the even picks.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we're very excited for this.
Without further ado, first overall.
Okay, so this again, like you said, Tennessee, right? This is really, I think, one of the most intriguing draft storylines. What do they do with the number one overall pick? As much as I like Travis Hunter, I do not have them going with Travis Hunter. I have them going with the quarterback from Miami, Cam Ward.
All right.
And the big thing that stuck out to me when it came to him was he's got a quick release, and I was really impressed with the way he was able to throw in tight windows. And I think that's a really good trait to have as a quarterback in the NFL draft, to be able to throw in tight windows. Of course, we're going to see him develop more, but I was really impressed with that.
Yes, he's gotten better every single year. He started out at Incarnate Word at a much lower level school than Washington State, and he did excellent everywhere. And then, of course, his best year was at the best school he's been at. So I'm impressed with Cam Ward. Honestly, but they got to take a quarterback at some point. Um, the Will Levis agenda for me is not being not going well past the past 2 years, but we'll see what happens there. I do like Cam Ward though. If Tennessee were to take Cam Ward here, I'm gonna say Cleveland just goes best player available and really commits to the rebuild and maybe just building around their roster until you're able to get a much better quarterback. So I'm going to go with Travis Hunter, the dynamic playmaker on both sides of the ball. As a receiver, a lot of people are reminded of Garrett Wilson, just the way he moves, the way he's like able to run routes. He's got great hands, great instincts, and on the defensive side of the ball, he's it's almost like he's two defenders out there because he plays zone so well. He's able to, like I mentioned, he has great instincts, great hands, and he just knows where to be. And of course, being under prime time for a while now, I'm sure he's pro ready. So he's
Well,
a
and
dynamic playmaker.
to go with your point, his conditioning I thought was through the roof. He played more snaps at the cornerback than any other one in the Power
Right.
Five, while maintaining to be a wide receiver one for his team and not really missing a step as a wide receiver one. And everyone has him strictly as cornerback, which I completely agree with. But what I would like to see Cleveland do is not necessarily say, hey, you're going to be a wide receiver for our team, but put him in wide receiver packages every now and then.
100%. Yes. Yeah.
Do Taysom Hill kind of stuff. I mean, except unlike Taysom Hill, where he doesn't play one dominant position like
Yeah.
Ward or like
Yeah.
Hunter will, but yeah, put him in some packages. Okay, well, then I'll go here. I think it's again like best player available, but it fits for the New York Giants, Shadir Sanders. I don't really think the Giants have a quarterback on their roster currently that they are content with for the next 5 years, even.
Yeah.
And with Shadir Sanders, I think the good thing with him is I really thought he was able to read progressions well. And I think we got to see that more throughout the season and
Yeah.
depending where the matchups came. He has good preparation for the game, good anticipation. I agree with what you said earlier in one of your earlier mock drafts, your quarterback one on your Instagram, where how are we going to really see the mobility come into play? I mean, we did see that amazing Hail Mary play to force
Yeah.
overtime and them to
Yeah.
win the game. But can we see where it doesn't have to be a Jane Daniels Hail Mary in his rookie year, but can we
Right.
see more of the mobility, more of the scramble outside? Because I think there were so many times in the late part of the year where the second he started scrambling, he gets sacked or he'd have to throw the ball away.
Right.
So how is he going to be able to throw on the run? Just because you see the top two guys for the MVP race, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they're out of the pocket guys.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think Shadur, like you mentioned with the mobility, I think he's getting a little bit better with that. He manages the pocket pretty well. It was just a bunch of timely sacks that would happen in terms of like ones that you don't want to take, especially at that time when it'd be a second and 5, second and 8, and then it turns into a third and 16. Like
Yep.
those type of plays you don't want to see happen. But regardless, he's super accurate. I think he's probably got the best fundamentals out of any of the quarterbacks in the class this year. Throws with accuracy on every single level. Really, really tight, compact release, which is really good to see. So I think he's gonna be fine. At for any team, whether it be it's probably gonna be one of the first three teams in my opinion, or maybe the Raiders trade up, but we'll see what
Sure.
happens with him. But
Well, and I think
I'm
unanimously too, those are your top three guys. The order we don't exactly know yet, but those are probably going to be your top three, I
yeah,
would
yeah,
assume.
I would assume as well. I've grown to like Shador a lot more over the process over the past like month and a half or so. But
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to see where he lands. At 4, I think this is a home run pick for New England if they can get him Abdul Carter. This is going to be a game changer on the edge. He's a linebacker converted to an edge rusher now, and we've seen that happen with Micah Parsons, who was another former Penn State player. I'm like, and in his first year as a true edge defender, he was probably the best pass rusher in all
Oh,
college football, which is super impressive. So as he continues to add more weight on, get better against the run, I think he's going to be a special player for that defense.
I would love that pick, Ian. That's a great pick. New England needs to create a pass rush too to make it better. So that's really good, especially when they lost Matthew Judon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go here for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Will Campbell from LSU. And I think the biggest thing that in my notes I wrote down from physical, 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 and he absolutely is. But to
Yes.
to give you a little more explanation is this I think would be great for Trevor Lawrence because he's a great pass protector, and there's just been so many times where I do agree there are times where you see Trevor hold the ball for a little long, but there's also times where he just doesn't have time to throw,
No.
and I
Yeah.
think a
Right.
lot of times not. So for me, as long as it's one of the top offensive linemen, I think that's a must for Jacksonville to take in the first round because I do think it's a slap in the face to Trevor Lawrence if they go defensive guy in the first round just because we've now seen, I want to say now for the last 2 seasons, the offensive line being one of their biggest weaknesses.
100%.
But I love Will Campbell from LSU.
Yeah. And he's gonna be one that I think he can play tackle in the NFL, but he's one that a lot of scouts are worried about his arm length. Though he may move inside to guard, but regardless, he's super physical. He's a smart player. He's been excellent for LSU. So I mean, I'm convinced that he's worthy of a top 10 pick. I think he's going to be an excellent player for for whoever drafts him. So Raiders here, I really love the fit of Genty. I don't know why. If your quarterback's not there, I say just add Genty to a Brock Bowers weapons core. Why not just continue to add elite players at those positions and until you can get the quarterback that you really desire. So Genty obviously super such an excellent player. We watched him throughout the whole entire year. A lot of people thought he should have won Heisman. But he has excellent contact balance. He's got home run speed. He can outrun defenses and he'll run you over. And he's a decent receiving threat at the backfield, so he's the whole package. So I'm convinced that the Raiders would eventually at least consider Genty at 6, just to pair him up with Bowers and continue to build that offensive weapon.
I really like that. I had him going 12 to the Cowboys, so they are very like not happy, but the Raiders would be very happy for that to
Right.
happen
Yeah.
because, like you said, I think the Raiders are in a similar boat with Dallas, need to do better in the run game. Okay,
Right.
this is going to be the first shocker of the draft. Number 7. We've seen a quarterback go in the top 10 last year, Michael Penix. Give me Jackson Dart. Jackson
Oh,
Dart
okay.
from Ole Miss.
Uh-oh. Where'd it go?
It might be so far down. It's hard to get. Okay, you were able to get.
Yeah.
No, with Jackson Dart, of course, there are question marks with him, and I think we kind of saw that more when Ole Miss had more of a collapse in the later part of their season. But what I was impressed with Jackson Dart is his intermediate passes. I thought were really well, and I think you can see him really do well in the RPO play action pass game, and probably of these 3 quarterbacks that we've talked about so far you could potentially see him run the most
Yeah.
of them. I mean, he's not afraid to run, and I think there's a little bit of times where he can get in trouble with the gunslinger mentality. But I was very impressed with him overall, and I've just been hearing too that his draft stock's been going up, and by the
Yeah.
time we even do one of our second or final mock draft, he could be going in the first round. So that's my
Yeah.
shocker because nobody saw Michael Penix Jr. last year
Right.
going
Yeah,
top 10
might as
to the man.
well. I honestly I can see it at some point. I think some team is gonna I don't want to call him a reach because I think he can be a good player, but this is still a shock. But
It's a
the
shock.
shock was last year with Penix. So, but Dart, I mean, I think he's a pretty solid player. He's gotten better. Obviously, like you mentioned, the RPO passing game was where that was a lot of Ole Miss's stuff. So,
Yes, that was
we'll,
where they
we'll
were
we'll
so
see how he translates
successful.
to the NFL. I thought he did pretty well at the Senior Bowl, which is a much different offense compared to what he ran with Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. So, I love the shock. Why not? And
And
Peyton
if
Mason.
Rodgers does decide to play
Yeah.
one more year, he could be a mentor for him.
Oh, right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
If he does, I know it's a question mark right now,
Yeah,
but
never know, never know. And
mhm.
this worked out perfectly for the Panthers. I know Derek Brown, they have Derek Brown, but he's coming off an injury. Why not add another elite defensive tackle in the middle with Mason Graham? He's probably one of the highest floor players in this class. I think he will be a multiple time Pro Bowler throughout his career. He's excellent at every phase.
I like that a lot. For number 9 for New Orleans, right? Yes, New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'll go Campbell from Alabama, the linebacker.
All right.
Um, I was very impressed with him. I think there were moments where he came up really big for Alabama, but also too, just I think the Saints, they looked so great on that 3-0 start. And
Hmm.
then they really couldn't get much of a pass rush going. I mean, as my team's the Packers, when they had them in the only shutout of the NFL season, Jordan Love had all day to throw. So this might not be the best player available in linebacker section. That being said, though, I think he's a wonderful fit for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, might as well. They got to add a linebacker at some point. Demario Davis getting up there in age, so I like it. Um, all right, Chicago at 10. I was thinking about Will Campbell, so that's all right. I'm sure they're gonna go offensive line, and I'm between Membo, Simmons, and Banks. I think Simmons is coming off a bad injury, but he probably has the best tape out of any tackle. So let's see. All right, we'll go Tyler Booker. He's an excellent
That's a
guard.
great pick.
Daniel Jeremiah is high on him. Probably one of the safer picks. He's good in pass pro. He's powerful, big dude. So we'll go with Tyler Booker, trying to beef up that line a little bit for Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson now. So
And what I like is we went Alabama, Alabama back to
yeah,
back.
back to back Bama.
Okay, number 11 now. I think if you want to make a case they get offensive linemen, I'm not going to debate with you. I think that's
Yeah,
a great one. I got them going cornerback though, and I got them going Will Johnson
cool. Michigan. Yeah.
from Michigan. And big thing is he's got that clutch in him. But and I think he's got the clutch part of his game like Travis Hunter, where if you need a deflection at the end of the game, he can provide it for you. If you
Yes.
need a pass breakup or an interception, whatever it is. But he's also a shutdown corner. You're not gonna have many guys throw his way. And I think there's a lot of question marks. I think the 49ers could have we already heard the news about Debo Samuel that just broke, but I think they got secondary guys too that could be heading into the free
Yeah.
agent
Kavarius
market.
Ward. Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're able to bolster the secondary because that was definitely I know they were decimated with injuries, probably more than anyone maybe in the NFL.
Yeah.
Detroit up there too, but
Right. Yeah.
yeah, I like that for the
I
49ers.
do as well. He's probably the best pure corner in the class. I think there's some questions with his long speed and I
Mm.
guess him being injured this year, but regardless, he is a an excellent corner prospect. So he's gonna be fine. Um, Dallas. So I took Genty earlier, so I'm gonna have to
Yes,
change
that's
that a
what they
little bit.
want. They
Obviously, that's
want
one of the
Chenty to be available.
right, right. That's one of the favorite selections. Um, I'm torn. I'm gonna go receiver,
That's a
but
good one.
yeah, we'll go McMillan.
Well, that's
Go
perfect with
go
CD
Pet.
Lamb.
Yeah, that's good for CD. You can kind of move him back into the slot and kind of work him wherever. But McMillan, big dude, 6'5". A lot of people think of Drake London and Mike Evans of him. He's more of like a wiry strong, but he moves well. He's got great hands. Like to see him get a little bit better dealing with press coverage, but he's a big guy. I think he'll figure it out at some point. But uh, he's an excellent player. I think that'd be nice for Dallas.
I like that a lot. Okay, we're with Miami now. So for Miami, I went. Is Mason Graham available?
No, Mason Graham. I went with him.
Okay, then I
Eight.
will go. Let's see who else I could go. I'll go. No. Let's see here. Okay, I'll go. Actually, you know what? Let's go Jalen Walker. I'll go Jalen Walker.
Yeah, yeah, he's good.
I think I think pass rush would be great. Well, I mean linebackers cause a pass rush too, just not as much as a
Yeah,
defensive tackle will. But I mean Jalen Walker, in my opinion, he's a game wrecker. I think he really made him stand out, and he really made himself stand out for Georgia. And I think they viewed him too as a leader of the defense. And so if he can provide leadership, with Miami for the linebackers, because that would be great to
yeah,
partner up and everything.
yeah.
So.
I agree. And Walker, he spent a lot of time as an edge defender and rushing the passer. So there's a lot of people view him as like a pure pass rusher. So having that versatility, being able to do that and cover guys and run sideline to sideline with running backs is that'd be big. I think this would be a home run pick for the Colts here. Malachi Starks, probably one of the better safety prospects we've seen over the past couple of years. We saw Kyle Hamilton fall a few years back to the Ravens. I think Starks could be one that falls into the early mid teens, and the Colts end up getting a blue chip player at that position. Starks, he can play the run. He's great against the pass. I remember him his true freshman year made a sick interception in the national championship. So I think for Indy, this would be huge for them.
I really like that. That's a great pick. Well, let's go Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. I'll go Williams, the edge rusher.
Do it.
And I think Atlanta, they need help creating a pass rush. Of course, wide receivers for Michael Penix is never a bad move to go with.
Right.
But I think you're going to need this because I do think, I mean, you see on their team needs, it was one of their biggest needs, but also with Williams, I know there could be some question marks with him and stuff like that, but I just think Georgia, I mean, I know they didn't get to where they want to in the end of their team, but I really think their pass rush was one of their strongest points of their team.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I love Mikael Williams there.
Yeah. He's a freak. He's a big time athlete. So I'm going to go back-to-back edge rushers here, but I'm going to go with one of the biggest risers, that being Mike Green from Marshall. We saw Khalil Mack go early from Buffalo, one of the smaller Division I schools. Green has put on weight, excellent, excellent pass rusher, has a whole bunch of moves in his arsenal, and he's been really good against the run. Played really well against Ohio State. So I wouldn't be surprised if he even goes higher than this, as high as 8 to Carolina, which I had in one mock draft. But Carolina getting Green here at 16 would be, I think that'd be really nice for them.
I like that. All right. For Cincinnati, I think this is where they think they plan on getting their Xavier Worthy. He also came from Texas. Give me Isaiah Bond.
Bond, okay.
Give give me Isaiah Bond for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know he's actually 2 inches smaller than Xavier Worthy because I
Yeah,
think Worthy's 5'11, he's 5'9. But I think you can really use him as a guy that he's really fast. He's probably when the draft combine officially starts, he'll run one of the fastest times for sure.
yeah. Our meeting ends in 9 minutes, so I think we're on pace. We're doing pretty well.
Okay, okay, cool. I'll try to speed up a little bit.
I like Bond. He had a tough playoff, but his and then he was kind of hurt for a little bit, so we'll see how that affects his stock. But I still think he has I still think there's a good player in there, 100%. Um,
Yes.
Seahawks need offensive line. We'll go Kelvin Banks here. He's kind of had he was dealing with a little bit of injury every once in a while, but he's probably left tackle. Maybe move him into guard, but he's probably one of the he's I want to say consensus, but he's viewed as one of the better offensive tackles in this whole entire class. He's got power, he's got technique, so I'm curious to see what Seattle does there. They need some line help.
Oh yeah, they do. I'll go a little bit. Well, I guess not too much of a shocker for Tampa Bay. Secondary, I think, would be great for them. So give me Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame.
Ooh,
I think you didn't really question much of Tampa Bay's offense except their offensive line. So Benjamin Morrison would fit well there.
right.
Great shutdown cornerback as well.
Yes, he's a good player. Here with Denver, I was torn between wide receiver and tight end. I think it's both a very solid cast. Tight end is really underrated this year. We're gonna go with Tyler Warren.
That was mine too for Denver. That's awesome.
Good, because he's the whole package. He's like a combination of Taysom Hill and just a bunch of different tight ends. You can play him in so many different areas. So I'm excited to see him in the NFL. I think Sean Payton can get creative with that guy. So I'm excited for Warren's career. He's gonna be good.
And for your Pittsburgh Steelers, Ian, I think we talked about the needing of a wide receiver too. So let's go Matthew Golden
Cool.
for Texas. And I think he was a great guy where he took advantage of what was given to him. But you saw Quinn Ewers go to him a lot when he just looked at to go to a guy. That's where he'd go immediately. You know.
Yeah, I love Golden. He's been one of the biggest risers of the whole entire college playoff. He's twitchy. He's a great route runner. Some people said they remind him of Stephon Diggs. For I saw a little bit of Antonio Brown watching him just because of the twitchiness and the hands and the sideline catches, the toe taps, all that. And then of course the big plays over the top. He obviously caught that one pass in overtime to send it to a second or third overtime. I can't remember against Arizona State, but Golden is he's excellent. I think he's gonna be a really good player. Chargers here. I think with the questions around Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa potentially getting traded, I think they're gonna go with the Shamar Stewart. He's been rising at the Senior Bowl. He's a freak athlete, 6'6", 290. Like that's as an edge
Mhm.
defender, he's an excellent run defender. He's just got to develop the pass rushing side of it, but a guy that you can kind of move inside and move around the line just because of his athleticism and strength. I think Harbaugh would covet that and end up selecting Stewart.
I think for Green Bay, it's either going to be cornerback or edge rusher, but I'll go edge rusher, and I got being James Pierce Jr. from
Ooh,
Tennessee.
yeah,
I think there's a little bit of similarities between him and Stewart, actually, the way they can go about getting to the quarterback. But yeah, great pick. Green Bay was really lacking a pass rush. I mean, there was Kenny Clark, but even with Sean Gary, like it was a little bit of a down season
yeah.
compared
It,
from the
it
past.
was
So,
it was it was- wasn't as good as we've seen. So adding
so yeah.
Pierce, adding Juice there, he's super quick. I'd like that a lot for them. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, keeps opening up ads.
I wonder why they like put a limit on the time meeting Zoom.
Yeah, I know. We got 5:45, so I think
Okay.
we'll be able to do it.
Okay.
All right, Minnesota, we're gonna go Siobhan Revel. Obviously, the passing
Sure.
of Kyrie Jackson last year, their draft pick was another long corner. I think Siobhan Revel can provide excellent. His tape is really good. He was hurt this year, but he's an excellent player. I would love Pittsburgh to take him as well. But yeah, Revel there.
All right, for Houston, I think you need to protect CJ Stroud, so give me Josh Quinorley Jr. from
Hmm.
Oregon. I think that was one of those big things where we just saw him really getting sacked so much it was getting hard to watch.
Yeah,
And a lot of it, like Trevor Lawrence, not so much the fault to his own or a Caleb Williams. So I
right.
think that'd be great. I won't try to go too much into detail,
No,
but I
no,
think
yeah,
that'd
you're
be
good.
great
You're
for
good. We
Houston.
still got 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, good, good, good.
26, we got the Rams. I'm going to go Josh Simmons, probably the best tackle on tape. Obviously, the injury concerns are there, but obviously the Rams, they know what they're doing when they're drafting. They have a great history of it, especially the past 4 or 5 years now. But Simmons is he's got great balance, he's got power, great pass protector. So I think he's going to be I think he's going to be very good in the NFL.
I like it a lot. For Baltimore, I have them going offensive lineman as well. Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. He's a big boy. If I'm not mistaken, is he 6'6", I believe? He's not
Let's
six
see.
six. He's 6'4", but he's pretty big.
6'5", big dude. Yeah.
Yeah, 6'5". Okay, there we go. So right between. But yeah, uh, just add protection to Lamar Jackson. I think he'll appreciate that.
Yeah. Him at the Senior Bowl was biggest riser out of anybody, 100%. He was
Yeah.
dominant. And the North Dakota State pipeline with the offensive line has been historically really good, even for an FCS school. Um, I'm gosh, I'm drawing a blank, but there's multiple North Dakota State linemen. I think Cody Mock, he's on Tampa Bay. He's one that coming from an FCS school ends up being an excellent player at the NFL level. So I like that pick a lot. Um, let's see here. With the Lions, I thought about no, I can't go there. That wouldn't make sense. Lions, we're gonna add some more defensive line depth just because of the injuries there.
Yeah.
Nick Scorton's kind of been a popular pick from what I've seen. He was really rated high. He's a good run defender, big dude. He was teammates with Shamar Stewart, so that you can only imagine how annoying that must have been to play against them. But Scorton, yeah, I like Scorton there to Detroit.
That's good. For Washington, okay. Let's look at the top available wide receivers. I think give him another wide receiver, Jane Daniels. Yeah, I'll go Burden the third, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, from Missouri. I think why not give Jane Daniels another wide receiver to go to?
right.
You
Yeah,
already have Terry McLaurin and give him that too as well.
yeah, might as well. I'm torn with Buffalo. I think they can go multiple directions here. Um Corner, I like a few there's a few guys I like corner wise. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, never mind. Jedi Baron. Yeah. Jedi
Okay,
Baron, he's labeled as safety, but he kind of just plays everywhere. He's one of the if you think about Brian Branch for Detroit, that's what you're gonna think about with Jedi Baron. He's an
hmm.
older prospect. He's gonna fall just because of they don't know where to put him on the field. But Buffalo, I think that would be a big time selection for him. He can play inside, outside. He's a great player.
I like it. Now, 31-32 is interchangeable. I do have the Chiefs winning, so I have that order being, but if not, you just reverse the two.
Yeah.
But 31 for Philadelphia. Give me Kenneth Grant
Ooh.
from Michigan. I think that would be absolutely amazing to pair him with Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
That would be such a nightmare to go against, man. And then if they were somehow to also get Miles Garrett, oh my gosh.
Gosh. And Philly's losing Milton Williams this year. He was their fourth year guy.
Hmm.
He's been a breakout this year, so they're probably gonna lose him in free agency. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. And then of course we got the Kansas City Chiefs, and guess who they're gonna take? Travis Kelce's successor. Probably my number one tight end in the class is in terms of pure receiving talent, I'd say is
I like
Colston
that. I'm gonna take a
Loveland.
picture of that. Or
Yeah. It is Colston Loveland for me. I think he fits them a lot better in terms of just the quick passing game and being able to. He's good. He can run routes. He dealt with really bad quarterback play at Michigan. But
Oh, terrible.
oh yeah, we went back to back Michigan at the end. So
Yeah, we went back to back or triple on some schools.
yes,
It
sir.
was cool. And we'll see Patrick Mahomes tweet about it like he did last year when they get their first round draft pick.
There's one last look at it for everyone. We got less than a
Yes.
minute on the meeting, but of course, always appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yes, thank
Hey,
you,
enjoy the
everyone.
Super Bowl. Hope you and your family are doing well, man. Appreciate you coming on as always.
Yes, same to you and your family as well. And yes, happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody. I'm so excited.
Yes, sir. All right, peace.